Hi, Drew. Today we're here with Drew Deraney from Schooley Mitchell, and I'm so glad you could join us to tell us a little bit about what you do and how you could help local businesses in New Jersey.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Jill, for having me. I'm looking forward to this. Um, Schooley Mitchell, what I love about Schooley Mitchell is our sole focus is really just reducing the expenses for our clients, which obviously increases their profits. What we do, we're an independent consultant, and we will work with the incumbent. Basically, our clients, vendors they have right now, we'll negotiate with them lower rates. Sometimes we'll do a re-rate with the current provider. And there are times when the customer is willing to switch. So we have 22,000 client database. So we know what the optimized pricing should be in specific expense categories. And we know what providers across North America are the optimal providers to work with. So we give our clients a choice. Do you want to stay with your incumbent? If so, we did a re-rate. Here's where you can save. If you're willing to switch, here's competitor 2 and 3. We can save more money going to them. It's the client's choice. And we only get paid if we save our clients money. So it's really a free audit. And then we come back with the savings. And once they sign off on one of the recommendations, we go to work and implement it. And they see it in their invoice the following month.
That's fantastic. And now more than ever, the local businesses in New Jersey could really use where they can save. And I know even during this time when things might be a little slower for them, they still are so busy and so focused on their own business to have someone like you, which is, using the term you've said to me, a vendor watchdog. I love that. They could really use your services. So I'd like to go into a little bit about like what you really look out for them. So I know one of the categories is telecom.
Right, absolutely. Schooley Mitchell started out as a telecom company, and Dennis, the owner, really wanted to talk to his clients about what their pain points are with their just in general financially, and he, having an accountant by trade, he was also their accountant, so he knew what they were paying. And basically the clients were saying, my pain point, I know I'm overpaying in a lot of my operating expenses, and I don't have the time to scan every single line item and negotiate with a company. That's the kind of help I could use. And then the number one expense category these clients were telling Dennis is, I know I'm paying more on my phone bill, my internet, my cell phone, my web conferencing. That's where I'd like help. And so that's how we started. And so for instance, let's say you sign on as a client. We would have a list of all your current vendors, and we'd either get access to your online accounts. Everything's confidential. We have a 36-month consulting agreement, nothing to do with financial, just consulting, where we share confidential information, obviously. So we have access to your invoices. We will, if you have Verizon as your provider or Optimum as your provider, we will negotiate with Optimum or Verizon or any incumbent you have, because we have relationships in the sense that we've already negotiated deals with these companies. So our analysts up at head office have a number and a person they can call directly and get an answer if somebody picks up on the first ring. So they will negotiate what they call a re-rate with the current customer, with the current vendor. And those vendors are very, very apt to right away have a cost reduction discussion, because it costs them more to go out and get new customers than it does to retain their current. And we have a lot of clout because we've 22,000 clients. We've done these deals, so we know across North America what the optimized price point is for whatever expense category we're experts in. And specifically, we're talking about now telecom. Verizon Wireless, we can do it. We can do it with any of the web conferencing, even Zoom. If you're paying for Zoom, we can work with Zoom and negotiate lower rates for you, because now's the time where Zoom is going to charge people, now's the time when Zoom is charging people, obviously supply and demand, higher rates. And
Right.
we can get that down because we know it's coming in certain industries, so we can help you just kind of get the deals you should be getting before other people know about it.
That's awesome. I know a lot of companies are paying through the roof uh, with a company like Verizon or Optimum, and
Mhm.
if you could lower their rates, that would help them out fantastically. I know you signed on as a member of Shop Local NJ, so we would like to pass your information along with that. But you offer so many other services. So would you go in and just do the telecom, or you would go in and kind of see what the client wants?
Right. The first thing we do is we want to establish the need of our clients. So we'll do more listening than we do talking. We may ask a question, what's your philosophy in your business? What do you pride yourself on? Some say we focus on money. Some say we focus on our customers, customers first. What makes that business owner or that business tick? What's their philosophy? Because we want to align their philosophy with what kind of recommendations we offer. Because we only want to offer recommendations that are going to address the need of our client. So we will make sure. I mean, right away, if they say, "I love my provider for this, I don't want to switch," that's fine. We'll negotiate the best rate with that current provider. If we get an idea that they're willing to switch if the price is right and service is as good as it's been, we'll go that route. So it's really whatever the client needs. And what we like to say is we call it a go or no go. We'll come back with recommendations. It's up to that client. It's up to them to say go or no go. They can say, Drew, nah, all those three, I'm not good enough. Please go back and do more. We don't charge you for that. We're going to try to find savings for you, what's going to make you feel comfortable. So
And that's the
that's really
part that I love that you told me about, is that you actually will go out and find where you could save the business, and there's really no charge up front for that, right?
no, and again, like certain industries, I may start discussing with them once I establish the need what expense category might work for them. So if you're talking about restaurants, right, a restaurant
Right.
owner, all restaurants have a dumpster in the back of their restaurant. Now, they either pay for it directly to a third party, they pay for that fee, or they pay their landlord or property owner who goes and then pays the third party. Either way, we can help. If a merchant, a restaurant is paying a third party directly for the waste removal for the dumpster in the back, then that restaurant can become a client of ours. We'll lead with the waste management because that's something obvious to them. They're always discarding trash, so it'd be recycling, shredding, or the trash in the dumpster. Now, once we establish that need, they could just sign on for that if they want, because the agreement we sign, the consulting agreement for our 36 months, is for the business as a whole. But they can say, first, Drew, we want to try you guys out. Let's work with waste management for my restaurant. We've been averaging 27 to 28% savings for our restaurants for waste management. Once our clients see that and feel that and actually see the difference in the invoices and in their budget, they may say, okay, you know what? Same business model for telecom? Uh-huh. Same business model for shipping, small package shipping? Yes. Same business model for credit card processing? Yes. Same for e-signature or electronic logging devices for my trucks for the deliveries? Yes. Same business model. They can pick and choose which expense category. And we have expert analysts in each of those fields who either worked in that industry or have a really expert knowledge of that industry. So no salesperson can really, I guess, snow them, you know.
And I could see the waste management working for so many other local businesses too, like delis and fish markets and even gyms and boutiques and you
Yeah.
know
Even your standalone healthcare facilities, because we'll negotiate with the medical waste company for the sharps container, for the soiled, linens, and
oh,
there's really, it's endless what we can do with the same exact business model, getting only paid on contingency. If we save money, we have an incentive to save our clients money and really keep the service where it is or get it better, because again, we want to address the needs of our client. We're never going to just go and recommend something just to save money if it's going to hurt their service. We want no business operation to be worse if we save money. We're looking for saving money and either maintaining or enhancing the service that's provided by those vendors. So
that's great. Yeah, I would like to go, we kind of skipped over the merchant services. If you could just
Right.
give us a little more detail about that, that would be super.
Absolutely. So let's say I'm going into a deli and I'm buying a bagel and I don't have cash on me. So
Right.
I've got a credit card, and there are times when you've gone to places like this where they'll say we don't accept American Express, we don't accept Discover card, we only accept Visa and MasterCard, and it's a $10 minimum. And it's like, okay, so you have to kind of remember, I go to this bagel place, I can only use my Visa and MasterCard. The reason why merchants do that is because American Express and Discover, they charge high processing fees. We'll come in and we will negotiate with the current processor. Again, it's a re-rate, and they're willing to do business with us. And we work on, first we look at to see what the structure is. Some credit card companies will put you on a set plan where no matter what, you're paying this processing fee. Well, if you look at all the different cards and the different processing companies and merchant services, they have a different processing fee depending on what card it is. American Express Blue, and so we know what the appropriate processing fee should be for each of those cards from each of those companies. So if we reduce those rates, we'll do a cost plus instead of a standard set, processing fee. And then based on volume, we're going to save our merchant a lot. I mean, our clients a lot of money, because obviously if we get you down a certain percent, you're going to be paying obviously less. Even the more volume you do, the more savings you'll see. So it's a very intricate industry, that merchant services, where about 5 or 6 entities get a piece of that transaction for that bagel. It's
Oh,
unbelievable.
wow.
Yeah.
I didn't really realize that. I'm sure, most restaurants and delis and, all the places that accept credit cards feel
Mhm.
the pain of, especially American Express, right? Because isn't that the highest?
That's, to my knowledge, one of the highest. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and you also think about it though. If I go buy a 90-cent bagel, right? When
Mhm.
I swipe, I would hope that the merchant gets 90 cents for that. They don't. They
Yeah.
don't, because of that 90-cent transaction, the American Express will take a percentage. My own bank would take a percentage. The merchant's bank takes a percentage.
Wow.
So I mean, don't quote me on these numbers, but a 90-cent bagel, they may be getting 83 cents for that bagel. They're losing 7 cents that goes to other areas. So if we hone in on the processor who charges the high processing fee and we can reduce that, we hopefully can get them, instead of 83 cents, they're getting 86 cents on that bagel.
And
And
that
that,
makes a difference
it
these days.
does.
It
It
really
does. It
does,
does.
especially to the local business. Whatever,
Yeah.
however they could save, would really would really make a difference for them,
Yeah.
as they're coming back out of the pandemic and
Yeah.
everything.
What one really interesting piece is, when you start to learn about this industry, if a merchant generates, let's say, $20,000 a month of revenue with credit card processing
Right.
versus an organization that makes 50 grand of revenue per month, right? If you're doing 50 grand, obviously higher than 20 grand, your processing fee percentage should be lower, like let's say 2%. I'm just making up the numbers here just to give you an
I would
idea.
think so.
I had a client, a dentist's office, where they were generating $50,000 worth of revenue per month using credit cards, but their processing company was charging them 4%.
Wow.
We negotiated back down to where it should be based on the volume, therefore saving them money. So, when a processing company says, "Oh no, this is the fee you're supposed to pay regardless of your volume," that's not true. And if they say that in order to use this software, you have to use us as your processing company, not true. So there's a lot of things the merchant's gonna believe because they don't know any better. You may as well just turn to us, who are the expert. We will know when something's accurate or not from that credit card company, or any of those companies for that matter.
So you're really saving businesses all the headache of doing the research themselves, and
Mhm.
or just, going with whoever is most convenient, just
Mhm.
because they don't have the time to really put into research it.
Absolutely.
And I would imagine that when, after a year or two, that their fees go up, and, they just stick with the same vendor
Right.
when they really should have this evaluated. So if they have
Yeah.
somebody like you constantly
Yeah.
trying to get them a better price,
Right.
it's
Well,
worth
I
their
mean, think
while.
about this. What I love the philosophy of Schooley Mitchell is that in the research and development team, they look for expense categories where they develop a need in the industry, for the companies that need this to be addressed. But also, we look for industries where there was no oversight, no audit. So you think about it. There was a time when Verizon often can charge the merchants whatever they want, and you don't know what to do. So you say, okay, that must be a good price, fine. The processing companies do the same thing. So we went into credit card processing. Second, shipping and receiving, FedEx, UPS. It's like, they charge you what they charge you and you pay it. We're in that now. And then the fourth one was the waste management. Those dumpster, the haulers of the trash, you get charged what you get charged and you pay it. So each one, e-signature was another thing. You have one company that, you always have a leader who starts up in that industry, and then everybody looks at them as the gold standard. Well, they're considered the gold standard quite often because they were the first in the market. And they
Right.
usually will then set the price high if they're the only game in town. Then others come in and they kind of perfect the service and have a lower cost. We know what it should be. So it's fun for me because I came from the healthcare industry, 23 years working as a non-clinical person, but within patient experience, working by the patient's family's bedside. I was helping that way. Doing this, I'm helping in a different way. If I can help a small business, local small business, lower their expenses, which in turn increases their profits, right? While they're working on boosting their revenue by treating their client base the way they should, or customer base or patient base, and we're in the background lowering the expenses, well, obviously the profits are going to go up, because if they're working on revenue increasing and we're working on expenses going down, got more money in your budget that you can reinvest in the most important part of your business, which is your workers, your employees. It's just, I enjoy it just because you could see the tangible savings there and they can apply it to wherever they want.
Yeah, that's
So,
great. I think local businesses can really use your services. I'd like to just talk a little bit more about shipping, because I know a
mhm,
lot of
yeah,
businesses have such high expenses, especially I feel like shipping has gone up lately with this
yeah,
happening.
yeah.
I'm not sure if that's accurate,
Yeah,
but
no, it has, because again, it's a supply and demand. So if people are, let's say, quarantined, not able to go out, and it's easy just to shop online, well, if you're a merchant, you have to, in order to get stuff same day or next day, you have to have the infrastructure to be able to do that. What's that infrastructure? You may have to build bigger warehouses, so that costs money. You may have to hire more people to be able to get that stuff out, or drivers or whatever. So if they're going to be if these companies are investing more money in the infrastructure to be able to get something to you same day, of course, where's the money going to come from? They're going to raise the shipping rates, because if the demand is high, right, and the supply is low to begin with, then the price is going to be certain. But once your demand keeps increasing, and you've got to really kick in that supply, you got to get that money somehow. So, and usually these shipping companies are supposed to really ship on the weight of the item, along with how far it's going to go, and there's an algorithm. But I mean, I'll tell you, I've worked in the for-profit sector in the telecom industry for a couple of years, long time ago, in between my healthcare stint. And basically, I was told, and you can look it up, you're able to really set your shipping rate the way you want. So the profit margin in shipping is amazing, because your shipper can say, okay, 10 cents a pound, and if I'm paying for that, I want to pass it off to my customer, I may put it down as 30 cents a pound to my customer. They don't know the difference. So that's a 20-cent profit right there. We know that happens. So we're going to help the merchants with that, not to allow that to happen. I mean, their
That's
clients.
great. I'm sure so many merchants don't even realize that. So they
Yeah.
really, really could use you as sort of being the underlying factor for them to save money with all these different things. Is there anything else? I know that we're probably running out of time here. So I want to make sure that there's nothing I missed or that you wanted to add.
Just that a lot of the businesses right now feel like, oh my gosh, I can't put something else on my plate. It's going to take too much. I'll tell you, 30-minute investment in the beginning just to establish the service agreement, and probably about 10 minutes to get our analysts the documentation we need to do our audit. That's all it takes. The rest of it, we're in the background doing the work for you. We'll come up with a beautiful value report that lets you choose how to save your money. It's just not time consuming. It really isn't. And usually with the time and effort you put front loading right in the beginning will save you time in the end. Trust me, it's going to be worth your while. And I want to help these. So it's hard to change people's thinking, but why not have us in the background, just lower your costs, and we don't ask for money out of your pocket. It comes out of the
I love
savings.
that. That's
Just
so great, especially, at this time. Thank you so
absolutely.
much for
Thank
joining
you.
me today. And it's been great reconnecting with you.
Yes, definitely, Jill.
Drew's the local rep for Schooley Mitchell right in Hohokus, New Jersey. So
Right.
he's close by and
Yeah,
willing to help small businesses save money. Uh,
absolutely.
awesome. Thank
Thank you, Jill.